प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. We are all studying the Bhagavadgita with right earnest, sincerity and dedication and devotion. Even the first chapter has got so many insights that are of very importance to our day-to-day life, and the first chapter gives psychological setting to the spiritual setting also to the upcoming teachings of the Sri Krishna. It starts from the second chapter. So we have covered around 19 shlokas already. The sage has already been setting. Everything is ready for the battle. The warriors have blown their conches. The interesting fact is, none of the conches blown by the Kaurava side has been mentioned here. Only the conches blown by the Pandava side have been mentioned. The commentator Madhusudana says, perhaps none of the warriors in Kaurava are that much of importance compared to those who are in the Pandava side. All this we have studied in the earlier classes. Now the real story starts. The entry of the great two personalities, Arjuna and Krishna. Arjuna represents the whole humanity, all of us, and Krishna is divine, the transcendental reality, Paramatma or the Brahman. So everything you see in Mahabharata story as well as in Bhagavad Gita are symbolic. The storyline is only symbolic. The real teaching starts from the second chapter. Now in the 20th shloka, Atha vyavasthitan drushtva dhartrarashtran kapidvajaha pravrutte shastra sampate dhanurudyamya pandavaha hrishikesham tada vakyam idamaha mahipate. According to the tradition, in some versions, the 20th shloka and half of the 21st shloka, 20th shloka in full and half of the 21st shloka is mentioned to derive a complete meaning. We will see that. Atha vyavasthitan drushtva. Both the armies are standing in their own positions, and there is no retreat by Kauravas. In the earlier shloka, to the commentary to the earlier shloka, Madhusudana says the Kauravas were terrified by the sound of the conches blown by the Pandavas. They were very much horrified, but they did not retreat from the war. This is also very interesting. They were very much afraid of the Pandavas' strength and the Pandavas' warriors, but they did not retreat from the war. That is why both the armies are standing in their respective positions. There was formations on the either side. The warriors are standing in their own positions, allotted positions. This is the first thing. Next idea we derive is tada shastra sampate. Weapons were ready for action. Each warrior has taken out their weapons and is ready to fight with the enemy. That means war is imminent. There would be no retreat at all. There was no sign of peace. There was no sign of retreat from the either side. War is going to happen at any cost. This is the situation we are in. Then what happens is something very interesting. Kapidhvajaha Pandavaha. Pandava refers to Arjuna here. He is qualified by the word Kapidhvaja. Kapi means here Hanuman. He had the banner of the Hanuman. Hanuman was in the banner, or as a banner or a flag was struck on the chariot, on the top of the chariot of Arjuna. There resides the Hanuman himself. There was insignia of Hanuman. That means Hanuman was favoring the Pandavas, especially the Arjuna. Hanuman is the symbol of strength. Hanuman is the symbol of valor, and he is a great warrior, and he has favored Arjuna or the Pandavas. That means the victory is very sure. So this Kapidhvaja, this word indicates that. So we have learnt three words: Atha Vyavastitan, Shastra Sampate, and also Pandavaha Kapidhvajaha. Kapidhvaja, one who has the insignia or the banner of Hanuman on his chariot. At the top of the chariot, that indicates Arjuna himself. And what Arjuna did is very, very interesting and is very important. Dhanurudyamya, he lifted his Gandiva Dhanus. That means he even at this point of time, he is very, very enthusiastic about fighting against the Kauravas. Otherwise, how on earth would have lifted his bow? Lifting the bow is the sign of preparedness for the war. He is ready to fight the war. He is ready to wage the battle against his enemies. That is, he is ready in his mind, physically and mentally he is ready. That shows. Then Dhanuruddhamya Pandavaha Pravrutte Shastra Sampate. Everything was ready. All the warriors have taken up their weapons to fight or wage battle. This is the meaning of the 20th shloka. Then suddenly Sanjaya Uvacha, it comes. Sanjaya is the narrator. We know Dhritarashtra is hearing the narration of Sanjaya sitting in his palace itself. So what Sanjaya is suggesting is the enemies were adept in statesmanship and righteousness, and the Pandavas are in full preparedness for the war, but not your sons. Your sons are inept, they have not prepared enough for the war. and also the righteousness is on the part of the Pandavas. In your side there is no righteousness, the dharma at all. So still there is time, O king, and you are trying to take away the kingdom legally belong to Pandavas, your own people, your own sons. They are equal to your son. They are the sons of your brother Pandavas. But you have not exhibited any kind of statesmanship that is required for a king, and you are not on the right side at all. This is the intention conveyed by the Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. A word is mentioned here, Mahipate. Mahipate means ruler of the land, ruler of the earth. You are ruler of the earth only for the namesake. You don't have any qualities that is required for a king. And this suggestion is very important here. Now, Hrishikesham tadavakyam idamaha mahipate. Mahipate is Sanjaya is addressing Dhritarashtra. I told you what kind of suggestion, psychological suggestion or psychological meaning of the word the Mahipate. Though Sanjaya is addressing Dhritarashtra as the ruler of the land or a ruler of the earth, you are ruler for only namesake. You don't have any qualities required for the king. This is the meaning. Next, Hrishikesham tadavakyam ihdamaha. Arjuna says these words to Hrishikesha. What is Hrishikesha? That is very important. Hrushikanam Ishaha Hrishikeshaha. Our commentator, whom we are following now, Madhusudana Saraswati, is very fond of explaining the Hrishikesha in several contexts. He says, Hrushikanam Isha. That means the Lord knows everything what we are doing, whatever is happening in our mind, whatever our senses are doing. The Lord, the omnipresent Lord, the Antaryami, indwelling spirit, indwelling consciousness, knows about it. The embodiment of that universal spirit or the universal consciousness is Lord Krishna, who is the charioteer, who is driving the Arjuna's Ratha. This is the meaning we derived. Impeller of all the organs. Without consciousness, no organs can function, and the mind can also cannot function. The mind and the organs are all dependent upon the consciousness it is within us. That consciousness, supreme consciousness itself is Krishna. That idea the commentator makes home here for us. Then Hrishikesham, that means the idea might be like this. Lord, you know my intention, what I am going to say you already know. Still I am expressing whatever is in my mind to you through my words. Vakyamidamaha. So it is a very interesting sentence here also. Aha would have been enough, he said. But Vakyamaha, he said a sentence. Vakya means sentence or the word. Aha, he said something. He said a sentence. He said the following words to Krishna. So every word has been analyzed, and you will get lot of insights if you follow one commentator, traditional commentator. Here we are following closely the Madhusudana, a great scholar and an Advaitic philosopher. Now Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna says, this is the second part of the 21st shloka, we should remember. The first part of the 21st shloka that we have already read, Hrishikesham tada vakyam idamaha mahipate. So now starts Arjuna Uvacha in between. Senayorubhayo Senayorubhayor madhye ratam stapayamechyuta yavadetan niriksheham yodhukamanavastitan kairmaya sahayodhavyam asmin ranasamudyame ubhayoho senayoho madhye. Once again, we should understand what we have read just now is the second part of the 21st verse and also the complete 22nd verse. There last time 20th shloka plus first part of the 21st shloka. That's what we have read and we derived meaning out of them. Now what we have read is 21st shloka, the second part of the 21st shloka and the full of the 21st shloka. What is the meaning? Ubhayoho madhye, both of the armies. Army on the one side is Pandavas, army on the other side belongs to Kauravas. Ubhayoho madhye ratam stapaya. Please place my chariot. My chariot, this is very important. A kind of identity and egoism you will find on the part of Arjuna. Senayor ubhayor madhye ratham stapaya. Please place my chariot in between the two armies. Our army and also the army belong to the enemies. Achyuta, this is very, very important. Why he says here Achyuta? What is the meaning of the Achyuta? Achyuta means that changes or decays. Achyuta means that doesn't change at all. Achyuta means that transform itself or decays or get destroyed, which has got an end. Achyuta means that is not there, which is always there, which is nitya, which is permanent, and that is called Achyuta. And Krishna is addressed here as Achyuta. That means he is Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta and Nitya, Paramatma. Here we should understand the Paramatma, the Supreme Conscious alone is real and he is everlasting, is always there, Nitya, everlasting, eternal. That idea you will find here. What is the idea of Arjuna addressing Krishna as Achyuta here? That means you are immovable. You cannot be angry with me. I am very much inferior to you. Still I am ordering you and you will not get angry with me at all. No kind of anger or lust or any other passions will enter into your mind, will modify your mind. Your mind will remain intact. Your mind will be always peaceful. Your mind will be always tranquil. You will not be affected by anything which is happening outside. The war is going on. There was so much enthusiasm on the either side. There was so much fear and worry on the side of Kauravas. Still you are not affected by that. You remain. This is one of the teachings of the Bhagavadgita. So you place my Ratha or the chariot in between the two armies. This is the meaning of the second part of the 21st shloka. Senayor ubhayor madhye ratham stapaya nechyuta. Now we come to the 22nd shloka. Yavadetan niriksheham. I want to see the army. I want to see the people who are very desirous of waging war against us. Yodhu kaman avastitan. Avastitan means they are already standing. They are already assembled here. I want to see them. Who are they? Have they come with any other purpose? They have not come with any other motive. They have come to wage the war. Yodhu Kaman. I want to see them. Niriksheham. You please facilitate that. You place the war as long as I can see all of them who have come here with the sole intention of fighting against us. This is the meaning of the Yavat. Yavat has got two meanings according to commentator. It indicates place as well as the time. You station or you place my chariot on that particular spot in between the two armies where I can see those people who have come here for the sole purpose of waging the war. This is the first meaning. The second meaning is, you please place the chariot as long as I can see every one of them who are desirous of waging the war. So Yavat has got two meanings according to commentator. And next he says, Kairmaya Sahayodhavyam Asmin Rana Samudhyame. This battlefield, this battlefield, there are hundreds of people who have gathered. I want to see those people, those fighters, those warriors with whom I had to fight. Maya Saha Yodhavyam. I want to see them who want to fight with me, or rather, with whom I had to fight. I want to see all those people who are opponents. So, it is very interesting. Arjuna knew very well that he was going to fight with Kauravas. He knew the names and the background of each and every warrior. But at this very critical moment, he wants to see them. He wants to see them. Because according to him, at least at this point, he wants to find out with whom he wants to fight. And this is the beginning of the critical crisis Arjuna is going to face within minutes. Not even hours, within minutes we are going to change, some sudden change in the Arjuna's perspective. And he is very curious to know with whom he has to fight. Next we will go to 23rd sloka. Yotsyamānānavekṣeham yaye tatra samāgataha dhātra rāshtrasya durbuddhehi yuddhe priyachikirshavaha. Yete, this is the words we have to explain first. Yete means these people. Who are these people? Bhishma, Drona and others. I want to see them. That is why I am asking it to place the chariot in between the two armies. Who are they? Bhishma, Drona, others and assembled here. What they are doing? Their whole purpose is to wage the war, and they want to do something good or what is dear to the Dhatra Rashtra or the Dhritarashtra. Priya Chikirshavaha Dhartra Rashtrasya. Dhritarashtrasya Apatya. The son of Dhritarashtra is Dhartra Rashtra, and they are here to fight. Yuddhehe Priya Chikirshavaha. They are here to fight the war in order to please Duryodhana, who is also called Dhatra Rashtra, the son of Dhritarashtra. And then we have a qualification for Dhritarashtra, Dhatra Rashtra or the Duryodhana. Who is Dhatra Rashtra? He is Durbuddhi. He is of the perverted mind. He is of the evil mind. He doesn't know how to protect himself. That is why he has called so many warriors and asked them or ordered them to wage war against Pandavas. He has paid them or he has showered favors on them. That is why all are here. That means the whole purpose of the Kaurava army is to please the perverted fellow, that is Duryodhana. So it is purely selfish. Their purpose of war, their intention of war is purely selfish. They have no noble purpose. In contrast to that, in the Pandava side, they had a very noble purpose. They want to protect dharma. They are on the righteous side. There is no selfishness there. They are not there to wage war for a single person or Yudhishthira or some other person or Bhima. So the fighting is the objective of fighting in two armies are entirely different. So they are Arjuna and others are fighting for the righteousness, the dharma, but the Kauravas are fighting for the sake of a single person who is referred to here as Durbhuddhi, evil-minded. They are just to protect him, just to make him king, just to make him be successful in his endeavor. They are all fighting the war. So this is the difference you will find here. Fighting the war for the purpose of righteousness and fighting the war for the purpose of an evil-minded fellow. So in aham yotsyamanan avekshe, I want to see those who are intent on fighting. Yotsyamanan means those who are intent to fight. Asmin rana samudra, okay. Dhatra rashtrasya durbuddhehe yuddhe priyachikirsavaha. So, in only purpose is to please the Dhritarashtra's son, who is of perverted mind. Next, shloka number 24. Eva mukto hrishikesho gudakeshena bharata senayorubhayor madhye tapayitva ratottamam भीष्मद्रोण प्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षितान् उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् समवेतान् कुरुनिति. Now Sanjaya is addressing Dhritarashtra as Bharata. This is also very important. O Lord, O Dhritarashtra, you belong to the clan of Bharata. They were all noble people. They lived for the truth and the dharma. Unfortunately, you are not following the dharma. Bear in mind the decorum of Bharata dynasty. Give up hostilities among your relatives. Even the time has not over. There is still time. You can even order for the cessation of the hostilities in the battlefield. You can do that. And this kind of suggestion is there when Sanjaya is addressing Dhritarashtra as the Bharata. Now, Gudakeshena eva muktaha hrishikeshaha. This is how we have to paraphrase. We have to make in the prose order. The verses are in the poetic order, poetic form, and first we have to try to understand in the prose form, in the Sanskrit prose form itself. There are two important words here. Who is telling these words to whom? Gudakesha is telling this to Hrishikesha. Gudakesha is Arjuna, who has conquered this leap. That means he is always alert and he is always vigilant until now. I am warning you, in the few moments you will see the transformation in Arjuna's mind, a critical time is just going to the critical time is just going to come. Now we have a stage, still the author of Mahabharata is addressing Arjuna as Gudakesha. That means he has conquered this life, that is always vigilant, always alert in every way. That is why Arjuna, we know very well that Krishna is not going to be angry with him for his direction. Now, who is telling? Gudakesha is telling these words. And to whom he is telling? To Hrishikesha. Already we know the meaning of the Hrishikesha. Hrishikesha here means another insight, a commentator. Already he has given some insight. The impeller or the instigator of all the organs and the mind is Hrishikesha. Now another more insights into the word Hrishikesha. He says, Lord knows what is going to happen to Arjuna, because the secret of everyone's thoughts the Lord can know, because he is the impeller of all organs, is the witness consciousness. Krishna knows what is going to happen to Arjuna. He has understood at this stage itself, Arjuna is going to be smitten by sorrow and the delusion. Senayor ubhayor madhyeva muktaha Hrishikeshaha Gudakeshena Bharata. And Lord followed the direction of Arjuna as an ordinary charioteer. This is also very significant. Lord is the Antaryami, Lord is the Parabrahman itself, he is Ishvara himself, but still he is following the orders or the diktat of the very inferior person. Ajnani he is called. He is not a realized person at all, like Arjuna. And he placed Ratha Uttama, very excellent Ratha, because this Ratha was given by the Agni himself to Arjuna. So the Ratha belonged to Agni. He had given it as a gift to Arjuna. That is why it is Uttama Ratha, excellent Ratha. And he placed it in between the two armies. Now, it is in the front of the Kaurava armies. We should visualize the whole positions now. The Pandava's army is on the back side of Arjuna, and Kaurava's army is in the front. That means he is in the front. Bhishma Drona Pramukataha. The chariot has been placed in front of the great warriors like Bhishma, Drona, etc. This is the first thing. Sarvecham cha mahikshita. And we have already learned there are innumerable numbers of the kings, the warriors, the emperors who have come to fight on the side of Kauravas, and they are all equal to Bhishma and Drona in their valor and in their bravery. That is why Sarvesham cha mahikshitam, in front of all the kings or the emperors. So there are two things we have to understand. Krishna placed the chariot in front of the great warriors. He names them Bhishma and Drona, and in general he says he also placed the chariot in front of the great emperors of the day, Sarvesham, all of them. And now the Lord says a very, very small sentence, Uvacha. It denotes Lord saying. Krishna says here. What Krishna says? Pashya, see, yetan, samavetan, kuruniti. Kuruni, he says. Those who have assembled on the other side do not belong to Kuru class at all. but they have all come here to defend the Kurus, Kauravas, to defend or protect the Duryodhana. They are on the other side of the righteousness. So we have to understand one thing here. Always in Mahabharata it is symbolic. Kauravas means evil, unrighteousness, dharma. Pandavas means righteousness, dharma. Here Kurun refers to all the warriors who are on the other side, not only the Kauravas. Samavetan Kuru, these warriors, those who are supporting Kurus or the Kauravas, have assembled there on the other side. Pashya, you see them. What is the need of Krishna saying Pashya to or see to Arjuna? This is also very important. Here the commentator says Krishna is giving courage. Krishna is trying to infuse confidence in Arjuna. Krishna knew very well within a moment Arjuna is going to be in a different state of mind altogether, because as Hrishikesha he has already understood the internal strife which is happening, internal conflict which is happening in the mind of Arjuna. Though only it has not been expressed, it has not come out. And there is also another intention. I am very careful in my duty, but you are not going to be careful in your duty. You will be going astray from your duty, and you will be talking words that suggest that you will be running away from the battlefield. You are going to do that. So just to infuse the last minute attempt to infuse confidence and courage in Arjuna, Krishna says, Pashya etan samavetan, those who are assembled here. Who have assembled? All the Kurus have assembled. Kurus, it doesn't mean only the people who belong to the clan of Kuru. That means only Kauravas. All those who are supporting Kauravas have assembled here. Pashya, you see. Then what happens? Tatra pashyasthitan partah pitrunata pitamahan acharyan matulan bhratrun putran pautran sakhim tata shvashuran hrudaschaiva senayorubhayorapi tan samiksha kaunteya sarvan bandhunavastitan krupaya paraya vishto vishidanidamabravit. Here also, for the sake of deriving a complete meaning, we have read full of 26 and 27 verses, and also the first part of the 28th verse. That we should remember. Tatra apashyat, tatra, on the other side of the army, Arjuna sees. What he sees? What he sees there? Apashyat, it actually is in the past tense. He saw. What he saw? All along he was seeing enemies. They are my enemies. I am going to fight with them. They are on the wrong side. I am on the right side. It is my duty to protect dharma by slaying them, by killing them. This was the state of mind of Arjuna. Suddenly the whole thing changes. The perspective changes. Mental perspective changes. People say, the wise men say, it is all in the mind. You see the same people, you see the same things, but suddenly your mind may change. Sometimes you are raged with hatred or anger. Suddenly your mind may change for good, and you may be imbibed with compassion. Suddenly your mind may change. Same people, same situation, same condition, your mind may change. So our experiences are not objective experiences per se. That is what the Vedanta, the epistemology says. It is all in the mind. We see something and we create a mental state within our mind. That is called vritti. The vrittis may be of different kinds. And we read in Yoga Shastra, that there are two kinds of vrittis, klesha vritti and aklesha vritti. Those mental modes which give us happiness is called klesha vritti. Those mental modes or the vrittis which give us suffering is called klesha vritti. So far, Arjuna was in a different state of mind, and he saw the same people. Now, when the Lord says, Pashya, see, the whole mental condition changes. Arjuna sees in the place of enemy, he is seeing someone else. The very different people he is seeing. Who are they? Tatra. On being permitted to see the armies by the Lord Krishna, Stitan, marshal standing on the other side of the army, other side of the battlefield, Atha Vyavastitan. Atha, what is meant by Atha here? Atha means here Tatha, after, then. Then what he sees? He is not seeing enemies anymore. You see how our mind changes all of a sudden. We are talking with our friends, hours together we talk, on some point we get angry with that friend, the friend becomes enemy for us. Next few years or the whole lifetime, we would not talk with him at all. The objective perception is the same friend, same personality, same human being, but our mind changes. The same person who was a friend for us, now he has become the enemy. This is the nature of the mind. That is what has become to Arjuna. In the place of enemy, he is seeing Pitrun, uncles. Oh, my uncles are there. Who are all? There was a warrior called Bhurishravat. Oh, my uncle, he is my Bhurishravat, he is my uncle. Pita Mahan. There are grandfathers. Arjuna very well knew from the beginning that he was going to fight with his grandfather and acharyas. But now he has got a different perspective. His mind is full of compassion, pity, sympathy for those people with whom he has to fight. See the transformation of the mind. Mind is very, very fickle. That is why yoga says, yogas chitta vritti nirodha. We have to control the mind. Not only we have to control our thoughts, we have to control our emotions, we have to control our behavior with others. What we express, our expression, everything should be under control. If we don't have control over mind, that would be the state. That happened to Arjuna. Absolutely no control of mind. He is filled with compassion. In the next shloka or so, we read, Krupaya Paraya Vishtaha. He is overwhelmed with krupa or the compassion towards the people who are on the other side. That's why it's as a prelude, as a introduction to that, the Mahabharata or the Bhagavadgita verses say, he in place of enemies, what he is seeing is his fathers, Pitrun, uncles, Bhurishravas and others, Pitamahan, grandfathers, Bhishma and Somadatta, Acharyan, the teachers, Drona, Krupa are all Acharyas, Matulan, maternal uncle. You will laugh, when you hear who will be the Matula. Very famous Matula uncle is Shakuni. Shakuni is no longer enemy for Arjuna. Shakuni is an uncle. Oh, my maternal uncle. Oh, Shalya is my maternal uncle. Bhratrun, he saw Bhratrun, brother. Who are all these Bhratrus, brother? Duryodhana. Oh, Duryodhana is there, my brother. Dushyasana is there, my brother. All those 98 brothers are there, who are all my brothers. Putran, who are all Putrans on the other side. Son, the son of Duryodhana, that is Lakshmana, and others are all become Putras for Arjuna. Sakhin and comrades, Ashwatthama, etc. And Jayadratha and all the other people are seen as friends to Arjuna. Shvashuran, fathers-in-law, fathers of wives are all become the fathers-in-law for him, or Shvashura. Suhrudaha, and there are friends. Who is that friend? Krutavarma, he is my friend, but he is on the other side. Bhagadatta, who is my friend, but he is on the other side. So what is meant by Suhruda? Suhruda means there is a slight difference between Suhruda and Mitra in Sanskrit. Mitra is a friend. A friend may not do good, may not help us in the time of crisis, but those who help us, those who do good to us in the time of difficulties, and they are called the Suhrudas. The Suhruda is there, Suhrudas are there, friends are there, Bhagadatta is there, Krutavarma is there. Oh my God, the whole perspective has changed now. Now he is overwhelmed. Tan samikshasa Kaunteya. Kaunteya, the son of Kunti. Commentators give some meaning to the Kaunteya also. He is Kunti Putra, the son of Kunti. Kunti, all along you will see in her life full of sorrow. She had to suffer so much. That suffering has come to Arjuna also. That is why he is addressed here as Kaunteya. Bandhu Navastitan, all are my relatives. Wherever he sees on the other side, in the Kaurava army, he is seeing only his friends, his fathers, his uncles, and no enemy is seen there, unfortunately or fortunately. No enemy is seen on the other side. Everybody is my relative. Everybody is dear to me. Everybody is near to me. How can I fight? Krupaya paraya vishtaha vishidan idam abravit. And the Vyasa writes, Krupaya paraya. Krupa, compassion. The compassion is a virtue to be cultivated slowly, and it comes after years of practice. But here that Krupa is something simultaneous, all of a sudden. And there was no Krupa just a moment back, but now Arjuna is filled with Krupa, compassion. Compassion for whom? Those who are on the side of wrongdoing. Those who are on the side of adharma, he has developed the Krupa. That is the problem. And that means this Krupa is something great. This compassion is almost, it is all of a sudden. It is instantaneous. That is why a commentator says his Krupa is great, paraya Krupaya. It is not only a compassion, it is the superior kind of compassion. Paraya Krupaya avishtaha. He is filled with that, overwhelmed with that. And this is the one meaning. If you read the same thing, if you join the word Krupaya Paraya Vishtaha, it will become Krupaya Aparaya Vishtaha. This is the duty of the commentators. Join the words, split the words, and give some different meanings. This is wonderful to hear. So even in the first chapter, can you have those insights, wonderful insights, you will find in the commentary of Madhusudana Saraswati. So we have learnt the meaning of the paraya, krupaya, avishtaha. Now let us learn why it is inferior. So another meaning is his krupa is inferior, because Krishna is also seeing that army. He did not get any krupa. Krishna is objective. Krishna is factual. Krishna stands on reality. He did not get any krupa or compassion. In fact, the Lord, Supreme Lord, Ishvara, is the most compassionate of all people. But he did not get any compassion. And Arjuna has got the compassion. That means his compassion is inferior. Aparaya krupaya. He has been filled with the aparaya krupaya. So you can take any meanings you want, or you can take both the meanings also. This is what commentator says. Next word, Vishidan idam abravit. This is a beautiful structure in the Sanskrit. Abravit. He is telling some words. At the same time, he is filled with the sorrow. Sorrow and speech have combined together. In Sanskrit, we give an example. They give an example. Suppose you are walking and singing. You can walk as well as sing. You can walking as well as singing and walk. That means both functions are possible at the same time. Here Vishidan, he is compassion and Vishada. This is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. You must remember. Here the word Vishidan, this is the Kriya Pada. Vishada is the Nama Pada. What is sorrow? Full of sorrow. Full of sorrow, he said these words. Here you will find the first mention of Arjuna Vishada. Why he should be full of sorrow? Just moment back he was very enthusiastic. He wanted to see the opposite army with whom he wants to fight, and he lifted his dhanu, or the bow, great bow of Gandiva, and there was no sign at all. All of a sudden, he is filled with sorrow. There are two things we should remember, Krupa and the Vishada, the sorrow. Due to his Krupa, he has to suffer. If there had not been Krupa, he would not have suffered. Then that compassion is not a real compassion at all. Compassion is misplaced. Compassion is wrong in the battlefield. Suppose our soldiers are fighting against Pakistani soldier. If our Indian soldier were filled with the compassion, what would be the state? No compassion. But it is not cruel on the part of our soldiers to kill the Pakistani soldiers. They are doing it for the motherland. It is their duty. That means the compassion is not the sentiment to be expressed that one has to get in the battlefield. This is out of ignorance. Our great commentator Madhusudana Saraswati says it is due to ignorance. What is the ignorance? The first type of ignorance is all these people are going to die and I am going to kill them. This is the first ignorance. The answer or the solution to this problem Krishna gives in the second chapter. They are not going to die. They are not bodies. They are Supreme Atman, which is indestructible. That is the teaching Krishna gives in the second chapter. So his Krupa is born out of pure ignorance that these are all only bodies. Bhishma is a body, Drona is a body, Duryodhana is a body, and I am going to kill them. And a lack of common sense also is there. Whether they are going to, you are going to kill them or they are going to kill you, who knows? It is a battlefield. It is a battle. He has already conceived misconception. Our Arjuna has developed a misconceived notion that I am going to kill them and I will be the sinner. This is what is called ignorance. And also the second type of ignorance is you are doing your duty, dharma, and you do not know the Atman. You are not a self-realized person. What you have to do is to do your duty, and that is called dharma, and develop spiritual attitude with regard to every action and do the karma. And you have to convert your action into karma yoga and strive for spiritual illumination. But at this moment, it is your duty to protect the dharma by killing the Kauravas. That he has completely forgotten. That idea of dharma is not in the mind of Arjuna at all. Of course, he has been trained in that dharma. He is a great warrior. He knew very well for Kshatriyas fighting is the only means of dharma, because he is waging a dharma yuddha, the yuddha or the fighting for the righteousness. So the two aspects, two dimensions of the what you call ignorance you will find here. That is what the commentator points out. First one is, these are all bodies, they are going to get destroyed if I kill them. So there is no such thing as destruction in Indian philosophy and Indian religion at all. Bodies are going to die. Atman will remain the same. Atman will find out the another body. But Arjuna has forgotten that. The forgetfulness is considered a great pramada. Vismruti it is called in our tradition. So we are trained in Vedantic studies, but we simply forget when we go out of this auditorium. We simply forget and we behave like an ordinary human beings in the Vyavahara. That is called Vismruti. Pramado vai mrutyuhu, the Shastra says. This pramada, the mistake is equal to death. For an aspirant, the bodily death, the death of the body is not death at all. Our pramada, mistake, our incapacity, our deficiency in alertness, that is what is called pramada. This pramada that you will find here. That is why a misplaced compassion filled the mind of Arjuna, krupaya paraya vishtaha. As the result, he became sorrowful. So we have in Sanskrit hetu and hetumad bhava. Hetu means cause. Effect means hetumat, that which is having the hetu. Here hetumad or the effect is he is sorrowful. Why Arjuna is sorrowful? What is the root of Arjuna's problem? What is the state of Arjuna's mind? Full of sorrow. Why he should be sorrowful? Because he is filled with the compassion, misplaced compassion. If it is a rightful compassion, one would not have the sorrow or the grief at all. You will not be miserable when you are really compassionate. If compassion is rightly placed, because it is a misplaced compassion, he knew very well in the heart of heart what he is doing, his emotions are wrong. Emotions are wrong. I am going away from the path of dharma. That is why he is filled with sorrow for the out of compassion. Sorrow is the effect, vishada is the effect, and compassion is the cause. And he is filled with the sorrow and compassion, and they are all mixed up now. One part of his mind is sorrow, another part of his mind is compassion, filled with sorrow and compassion on seeing the Matula, uncles, father, grandfather, friends, no enemies. He did not see any enemies there. So he told these words to Krishna. Vishidan idam abrabit. The sorrow and speech happened at the same time. That is why it is suggested here, Vishidan idam, these words which we are going to study in the next class, the Arjuna says. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.